Hello out there and welcome to Your Next Mission video podcast. Today's guest is leading the way in providing health and wellness opportunities for members of our veteran community who share common values and goals of connectivity and a strong mental health. You won't want to miss this one, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Your Next Mission video podcast, where we tell the stories of those who have served in the past and those who are serving today. From transition to financial wellness, VA benefits to mental health, we cover issues facing veterans, active military, and their families. Now here's your host, the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army and co-founder of the American Freedom Foundation, Jack L. Tilley.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to all of our veterans, service members, and their families for your service to our great country. Now, before we get started, I personally want to thank our presenting sponsors, Navy Federal Credit Union, whose members are the mission, and Purdue Global, where you can start your comeback, and USAA, whose mission is taking care of the military community and their families always. With additional sponsorship from Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Dental and Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Vision. Together, they make your next mission happen. They love our veterans and families. I say it every week. We love them too. Today, we're talking about health and wellness in our veteran community. And I'm excited. I'm overwhelmed. I'm pumped up to introduce Mike Erwin, founder and executive director of Team Red, White, and Blue. Mike, welcome to the show.
Sergeant Major, it's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh man, I tell you what, I'm just pumped up. Every time you say red, white, and blue, I just want to get up and start running.
That's right. I love it. That's right.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about this morning. Before we do that, how about telling the audience just a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So, I went to the U.S. Military Academy, graduated in 2002. I went on to serve 13 years on active duty. So I was an intelligence officer, 3 deployments, Iraq once, Afghanistan twice. And then I transitioned to the Army Reserves back in 2015. So I'm still serving in the Army Reserves. And yeah, founded Team Red, White, and Blue back in 2010. So we're actually turning 15 years old this year, which is really hard to believe when you think about all that we've impacted, all that we've done for the veteran community. It just makes me so happy and so proud.
One of the things I didn't ask you, what rank are you? Lieutenant Colonel, Major?
Yes. Lieutenant Colonel now.
All right. Well, congratulations. Keep serving. I want you to keep out there fighting, doing your job here.
Well, thank you.
Hey, would you tell the audience just a little bit about Red, White, and Blue?
Absolutely. So we started back in 2010 with a focus specifically on helping service members to transition from active duty Guard Reserves to civilian life. You got to remember back then, right, there was a lot of service members coming home from Iraq or Afghanistan, and they really needed that help meeting new people in their community. And while that's still a very important mission, we've really evolved in about the past 5 years to focus on a more evergreen mission, as I see it, and that is the holistic health of the veteran community and those that love them. So we are America's leading health and wellness community for veterans, and our focus is on helping service members as they hang up the uniform to stay healthy. And they do that primarily through physical activity. And when you stay physically active, it helps not just your physical health, but your mental and your emotional health as well. And so we've got chapters all over the country. We've got a digital platform that we use to engage and inspire veterans to tap into the power of physical activity and the power of community. And overall, our focus is just on helping veterans to know that their best days are not behind them, that their best days are in front of them when they prioritize their health.
Yeah, I think the worst thing you could do is and I did that, I got to admit, when I did that, when I got out, I sort of quit working out. And I really, in fact, I gained a little bit of weight, probably a lot of weight. Yeah. And I just quit for about a year, and I felt so bad that finally I got back in the gym and started working out. So, and I did feel a lot better. Now, Team Red, White, and Blue, if I remember, it's a membership organization. What percentage really are veterans, active duty, military spouse, or non-veterans? You have a group of everybody in there, don't you?
We do, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're about 300,000 members who've joined since our inception. And the majority, what we call V-grad, so veteran, Guard, Reserve, and active duty, that's about 70% of our membership. But that means that almost 1 out of 3 people who are a part of Team Red, White, and Blue are either military family members or just patriotic Americans who want to support the veteran community.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, the real question probably people listening to, how do you join? How do you get involved?
Pretty simple. So a couple ways. You can go to teamrwb.org and join the team right there. There's a button. Or for most people today, the way that they're joining is from their smartphone. And you go to the App Store and just type in Team RWB. You download our app. We call that our digital garrison. And you fill out a little bit of information like your name and were you in the military and what rank. And that's really about it. And then you join and now you're automatically entered at no cost into our community, and you can find ways to engage with fellow veterans and supportive Americans right where you live, or you can participate like a lot of people do in that digital garrison and connect with veterans from all over the country and be inspired by their health journey and inspire people through your own. And as you mentioned, like this is the case for so many service members. Because as you know, Sergeant Major, like PT comes early, right, when you're in the military. And it's not necessarily fun to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be in formation at 6:15 and then to exercise every single day, Monday through Friday when you're not in the field. So we understand why a lot of service members, when they leave the military, whether they retire or they ETS after 3 years, why they have that sense of, I got a little freedom here. I don't have to exercise like I did when I was wearing the uniform. And I think it's fine for people to put it down for a little bit, but it becomes a real problem for a lot of veterans if that goes on for years and years, because as you said, it's not just the physical side, it's how it impacts your mindset and how it impacts your confidence and how it impacts, you know, your mental health.
Yeah, I got to tell you a quick story. I was in Korea and I was getting ready to retire. I got a bunch of stories. I was getting ready to retire. And so I was buying me a couple of suits, and the tailor says, hey, he started measuring my waist. He says, hey, I understand, Sergeant Major, you're getting ready to retire. I said, yes, I am. He said, I add 2 inch. I said, wait a minute, don't do that.
Yeah, totally. We just expect it, right? Because we know that there's that the discipline is forced on us when we're in the uniform, right? And when that leaves, it's hard to maintain that discipline. It really is.
Well, I know later in the show we're going to talk about the groups and all that stuff, but you really need a partner. I think sometime to keep you going. Hey, I'm sure the organization is having a major impact in membership, struggling with many issues. When we return from a short break, I'd like to talk about some of your success stories. So I know you're not going to go anywhere, sir. Please don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. This is your Next Mission Video Podcast with me, your host, Jack L.T., 12th Sergeant Major of the Army. And if you're enjoying the discussion, because I know you are, because we're talking about mental health and physical health too. It's about staying fit and staying ready to go all the time. Please like us. Click on that subscribe button below. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications of all of our upcoming video podcast releases. I'll be right back after a word from our presenting sponsors.
You're watching Your Next Mission Video Podcast, proudly presented by Navy Federal Credit Union, the most trusted credit union owned by members of the military community, serving all branches of the armed forces and their families. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Their members are the mission. Purdue Global. You're ready for a comeback, and with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu. And USAA.
A promise is a trust not to be broken, whether spoken with an oath or sealed with a pinky. And after 100 years, we're still taking care of the military community and their families. That's our mission, always.
Now back to your host, the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack L. Tilley.
Welcome back. We're talking with Mike Erwin, founder of Executive Director of Team Red, White, and Blue. Before we get back to our discussion, I want to let you know about a way to support the work we're doing on behalf of our veterans and families here at the American Freedom Foundation. If you have a used vehicle you're planning to get rid of, or some property you don't have any plans for, you can donate it. Visit our website at AmericanFreedomFoundation.org/donate and click on the vehicle donation button or the home donation button to support our work. Would really appreciate your support. Mike, you said during our prep call, and I love talking about all this stuff, that some of the members feel that the exercise and activities have helped them get through some darkest moments, you know, and I know for me personally that, you know, I struggled with PTSD all my life, and I know getting out there and working out a little bit makes me feel certainly a lot better. You got any success stories that you can share with the audience?
Absolutely. And when you think about the impact that PTSD can have on a veteran's life, we know, right, that one of the most productive and effective things you can do is move your body. And one of the examples that comes to my mind is someone who I actually just saw in the Digital Garrison 5 minutes ago before we started this recording. Brandon Smith. He's an Air Force veteran. He lives out in the mountains of the western part of North Carolina. And he is someone who had chronic pain, who struggled big time with anxiety and depression after his 10-year military career. And by getting involved in Team Red, White, and Blue, he literally just posted about how thankful he is to have this community, because there's all these different people who are supporting him and who are cheering him on. And when he's posting his workouts, that are just encouraging him to keep showing up, to keep doing more of those workouts. And so he's just one recent example, but I can tell you, Sergeant Major, there are probably, I would confidently say 100 to 200, somewhere in that range, of veterans who are alive today because of Team Red, White, and Blue, because they've told us so. They have told us that if it wasn't for Team RWB, the people they've met in it, the discipline that they have rediscovered for physical activity in their life, that they probably wouldn't be here. And when you hear those words, I mean, they really grab you, but it speaks to the power of what we do and how much veterans want what Team RWB is all about.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it before about groups, but the next question I want to ask you is, you have a lot of groups, correct? I mean, there's a lot of groups, and I know I feel a lot better when there's a couple of us, you know, working around together and sort of talking, and that really is a lot of, takes a lot of stress off you. You sort of talk about issues or whatever, yeah. But again, your activities are all in groups, correct?
Totally, yeah, so you're spot on, and we know that the accountability that comes from a workout buddy, a ranger buddy, a battle buddy, whatever phrase you want to use, that buddy, that it's real. And it's not just the accountability, but it's also, as you mentioned, the opportunity to connect in a way over exercise that you just can't connect on, like over coffee or when you're sitting across the desk from someone. And so that's a big part of what we do. We've got about 150 chapters all across the country. And those chapters put on events, and they give veterans opportunities to come out to connect with each other. And as you mentioned, that's where a lot of the real power unfolds, is in those conversations that happen on a walk, on a ruck, on a run. And it's not just the physical activity, but it's the connection and the conversation that flows from that.
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk about those activities that you got on, because your groups are the way to go. And there's a lot of people that sometimes they just need a little push. You know what I mean? A little push to get them going in the right direction. And sometimes, and again, I'll say something to somebody that served in the military a lot quicker than somebody else, somebody who hadn't served, because they understand exactly how I feel.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
that's exactly right.
I want to talk about your volunteers, activities, events, and chapters. But first, like there's always a but first with everything we do here. But first, we need to take another small break. And so don't go anywhere. This is a great discussion. We'll be right back. Now, here's a word from one more of the organizations that help make this show possible.
You're watching Your Next Mission video podcast, brought to you in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Dental, Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Vision.
Part of transitioning out is that dental and vision insurance breaks off from your medical insurance.
Vision and dental is very important to be able to enjoy your retirement.
Blue Cross Blue Shield makes the transition so much easier.
Now back to your host, the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack L. Tilley.
Welcome back. We're blessed to be here today with Mike Erwin, founder and executive director of Team Red, White, and Blue. Remember, this is your show. We know there's so many issues that directly affect you, and we want to address each and every one of them. So please, as I've said many times, reach out to me. Tell me what topics you'd like it to cover. You can call or text me at 844-424-1134, or send me an email at smatilley@yournextmission.org. And guess what? I'll reach back out to you. Mike, you said before you had about 150 chapters of Red, White, and Blue throughout the world. Are they all volunteers?
They are. So that's one of the powerful things about Team Red, White, and Blue is our horsepower comes primarily, like the NCOs are the backbone of the military. Our volunteers are the backbone of Team Red, White, and Blue. And we've got people who have poured in anywhere between 3 and 20 hours of volunteer leadership per week. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so what you see in our chapters at the local level is often a reflection of the passions that those people have. So some people love rucking, some people love CrossFit or yoga, some people love running. And so you find leaders that pop up doing different things, but it's often our volunteer leaders that are the ones that drive the physical activity that will take place in that chapter. But it's one of those things, as you know, the desire to serve and to volunteer and to lead doesn't go away from most service members when they take off the uniform. And that's why so many people have stepped up over the past 15 years to provide leadership and volunteerism within Team Red, White, and Blue.
I would imagine you got a lot of sergeant majors that are volunteers, and you also have a lot of general officers. Now, you have more sergeant majors than general officers. What's the mix?
We do, yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you do.
There's a lot. There's a lot of retired senior NCOs that they miss that opportunity to motivate and inspire other people. They did that for their whole lives, and they can continue to do that in a Team Red, White, and Blue chapter, whether it's as the chapter captain or the run coordinator or whatever position they might hold. They love doing that. So yeah, we've got a lot of retired senior NCOs that provide a lot of horsepower for Team RWB.
Do you get spouses that jump in there too and volunteer with you?
We do, a lot. Yeah, we know that often one of the best ways to engage veterans, and we know that a lot of veterans sometimes are hesitant. They're like, I'm not sure about this. I don't need to necessarily belong to this group or be active in this group. And one of the best ways we often see them get active is through their spouse. And it's awesome when that happens, because not only does the relationship grow, they both get healthier together. It's just amazing synergistic effect.
Yeah, I didn't ask you, but I've been married a long time. I've really 55 years now. I think the answer is
amazing.
Well, it is amazing that she's kept me so long. The other thing's amazing. She's in charge. I don't ever get anything. I mean, I can't. I think I'm in charge, but I don't know if I'm ever really in charge. Hey, would you tell us?
Same here.
Yeah. Would you tell us about some of the activities or events with your organization? What's coming up?
Yeah, so a couple of big things. So one thing that people can participate in here in the month of February, we do something called the Taji 100. And this was started by some service members who were deployed to Camp Taji just north of Baghdad. Mm-hmm. And the goal is to challenge people throughout the month of February. It's the shortest month of the year. It's dark. It's cold, even maybe in Florida and Texas and places like that. But for most places, it's dark and cold, and it's a tough time to be motivated. And so they challenge, and we challenge every person to cover 100 miles on the Ankle Express in February, walking, hiking, running, rucking. And your goal is just to basically chip away at 4 miles a day. And if you do that, you easily cross over that 100-mile mark. And so that's our big event we have coming up in February. But our biggest event that's coming up in 2025 as we celebrate our 15-year birthday is what's called the Team RWB Old Glory Ultra Relay. Now, this is not one that people can participate in. We have recruited and selected a team of 12 veterans, mostly, again, retired NCOs, and they are going to move for 15 days between starting in San Diego on the USS Midway on May 2nd and finish at the future site of the Global War on Terrorism Memorial in Washington, D.C., right next to the Jefferson Memorial. They're going to move one single American flag 3,000 miles in 15 days to finish on Armed Forces Day. So that team of 12 is going to move around the clock, averaging 200 miles per day. And so that's an opportunity for people to not necessarily participate, but to be able to follow it, to cheer them on, to inspire them, and to share with fellow veterans the power of what Team Red, White, and Blue is all about. So this event is really meant to elevate this conversation about the power of physical activity in our post-military lives.
I didn't hear you correctly. You said, how many miles a day are they going to move?
So they're going to average 200 miles per day over 15 days.
Oh my goodness!
So the flag is not stopping moving. It's going from
but you're rotating that. It's not the same people. You rotate people through that, right?
Same 12.
Oh, same 12.
So the same 12 are going to average about 2 hours of running per day, and not just like kind of jogging. They're going to be moving at sub 8 minutes per mile, carrying a flag.
Yeah. How do you register for that? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people want to register.
So the team has been recruited and selected, and so they're already training. They're coming together. There's actually a retired sergeant major is the crew chief, the one who's going to be charged with the on-the-ground leadership of it. So no one can participate in it like explicitly. We do have the opportunity in certain places for people to come on out, and if they can keep up with whoever is running, to keep pace with them for that 750, 755 per mile pace that they'll be running, and to cheer them on. But this is one of the ones where there's not an opportunity to actively participate in the run unless you want to be a pacer for a few miles. But this is really about elevating the conversation in the veteran community about how important physical activity is.
You say, again, I don't want to be slow about this. You said 200 miles a day, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
the same 12 of the same team, 12 people.
Yep.
And the run
whole time. Yep. Same 12.
Oh man, that's moving. You know, when I was on active duty, I ran a half marathon, 13 miles. Down at Fort Bliss. And I ran about 7:35 a mile for 13 miles. When I finished that 13 miles, I was exhausted. I couldn't imagine. But these guys are in great shape. Or guys and gals.
They're going to have to do that. Yep, they're going to have to do that for 15 days in a row. They're basically going to run a half marathon at 7:45, 7:50 per mile for 15 straight days.
Wow.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Is there females on the team also? You got male and female?
Yep. So we have 3 women, 9 men.
I got to ask you, what's the oldest and what's the youngest?
I want to say our oldest, Mary, I think she's 51 or 52. But we've got the youngest, I think like maybe 28 or 29. So we don't have any sort of super young bucks, right? We've got a majority like between 30 and 50. Because remember, this is not about speed. It's about, yes, you got to be moving quick, but it's really about perseverance. And can you recover to be able to get back on day after day after day to knock out that half marathon? Remember, carrying a flag. So it's not just running with nothing. You're running holding the flag with you the whole way.
I can just imagine these guys and gals are all slim and trim and just, you know, they probably weigh about 20 pounds each or something like that.
Yeah, they're fit. They're super fit.
I guess if somebody wants to join Team Red, White, and Blue, where do they go? What website? Is there an app or a website they go to?
Yeah, but as I said, the best way is to go to the App Store and just type in Team RWB for Red, White, Blue and download via the app. If you prefer the desktop, you can do that by going to our website at teamrwb.org. Those are the 2 ways that you join the team. You immediately get plugged into our community, and you can start engaging with us that afternoon.
You know, I can see why you're running this organization just on this conference call, rather Zoom call. You are so pumped up. Are you a big runner?
Yeah, I am. You know, when I started Team RWB in 2010, I use like a lot of endurance running as a way to kind of cope with the stress, of my deployments and seeing my friends go back downrange and all that. But yeah, I actually just this past November, I ran the JFK 50 miler. And so that was a true test for me. I had run it when I was younger, but it was the first time that I had run it in 11 years. Yeah. So it was pretty awesome.
I'm not going to lie to you. Now I watch them run. As they come by, I look at them and say, oh, that looks good, right? Yeah. I'll just say, hey, wave at you. Hey, you guys are doing a great job. Keep the work up. Hey, this has been a great discussion. Do you have any final thoughts? Something you want to share with the audience maybe we missed or, you know?
No, the only thing I would say is, well, first of all, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the chance to connect and to have these conversations. It's so important when we look at the veteran community. There's about, as you know, I think about 18 million of us, you know, who've worn the uniform. And almost every one of them, if you were to ask them, right now, whether they're 105 or they're just got out and they're 21 years old, that they want to have a healthy, productive post-military life. And there's lots of ways to do that, right? We know employment's important. We know that finding a purpose is important, that volunteering is important. But one of the non-negotiables, we believe, and the research clearly backs this up, to living a great life when you take off the uniform is staying active and harnessing the power of that physical activity and harnessing the power of community. And Team Red, White, and Blue offers both of those: fitness, health and wellness, and community. And so, you know, we wish that every veteran knew about us. We wish that every veteran would join and become a part of Team Red, White, and Blue. And it's an open invitation, as you've made it here several times, asking people how they can do it. But we hope that that's the call to action here from this conversation, Sergeant Major, is, hey, go join. We want you on our team. We need you on our team. You know, your family, your coworkers, your teammates, the people in life, the people that you've served with. Everybody is better with their interactions with you when you're taking care of yourself and when you are harnessing that power of physical activity. So we hope people become an eagle. That's what we call our members, eagles, and really tap into just the power of everything that we do.
Once again, tell me the date. I think it was 2 May or something like that. Is that the date? What's the date?
The start of the Old Glory Ultra is May 2nd, and it finishes on Armed Forces Day on May 17th this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, again, let me know if we can help you in any way, and thanks so much for coming to the show, and I appreciate all you're doing for our veterans and families. Keep up the good work, and again, let us know how we can ever help you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks again to Mike Erwin for being with us. I'm Jack L. Tilley, 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, and you've been enjoying Your Next Mission video podcast. And thank you for joining us. Log on our website at yournextmission.org and leave me a review. I always say I hope it's a good one, but we'll take whatever you give us. While you're there, you can visit our nonprofit and corporate partners who have jobs and services available that can assist you in your transition from the military. And check out our job board in partnership with Recruit Military and Upline, where you can create your own personal profile that will match you with just the right job in real time. You can follow me on all my personal social media pages, Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Rumble. And if you like what we're doing at yournextmission.org, please click on that subscribe button below. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications about our upcoming video podcasts. Remember, we want to hear from you. Please leave me a message or send me a text at 844-424-1134, or send me an email at smatilley@yournextmission.org. Thanks again to Mike for joining us on the show. And I tell you, if you're not pumped up about red, white, and blue, something's wrong with you. This is an organization that cares about you. They're fellow veterans, family members that care about you so much and want to make sure that you take care of yourselves physically and mentally. So it's a great organization. Reach out to them, talk to them, get out there and run. Now, I've got to be honest with you. I may not run, but I could certainly walk a little bit now. But whatever you can do, stay physically fit. That's a key to success in life. And again, it's just great being around other veterans that have the same likes and dislikes as you do. Again, thanks for watching, and thanks to New Mind Studios, and of course, our sponsors, Navy Federal Credit Union, Purdue Global, USAA, Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Dental, and Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Vision. We appreciate all you do for our military. And as always, see you on the high ground. Hooah!
You've been listening to Your Next Mission, brought to you by the American Freedom Foundation. Learn more by visiting yournextmission.org.